If you're interested in a supernatural romance story with a little bit of everything, rom-com fun, eventful shenanigans, and emotional moments that hit hard, then Tayotama Kiss on My Deity might be up your alley. Where in the midst of quelling mythical creatures, you'll see its main character finding that destined girl to bond with, whether it's his best friend, an upper-class lady, or even a goddess deity. Thanks to Kawaii Neum for sponsoring this video and for showing me the loving charms of a devoted wife reincarnated fluffy goddess. Tayutama follows Yuri Mito, the only son of a priest at a local shrine, as one day he stumbles upon ancient ruins and suddenly summons the guardian deity Kikurami Mikami no Hime. This goddess deity seeks harmony between humans and the mythical race of creatures known as Tayutai, and all seems fine until his friends accidentally destroy the sacred ruins. This unfortunate incident unleashes the Tayutai all over, including 3 powerful spirits. One's very hostile towards humanity, and thus Yuri must join forces with Mashru, a girl sent to him as the reincarnated goddess, to confront the rogue Tayutai and along the way prove that coexistence between humans and Tayutai is possible. The man just wanted to work on his bike, and now he's got supernatural disasters that no one but him and his newly acquired wife can deal with. What's really fascinating about Tayotama is that the story takes one interesting approach. Tayotama operates romance first, supernatural hijinks and battle scenes second. After the initial premise setup, we get a deeper insight into each of the different heroines through their arcs, getting to know them, understanding what makes them tick, and figuring out their specific problems. And it just so happens that Tayutai incidents happen involving them, for better and for worse. The hot-headed Amari meets a rather dubious individual, the faithful little Yumina runs into a bird that gets way too attached to her, and the prideful Mifuyu confronts an underwear-stealing thief. All problems that could end up as international disasters if not taken proper care of. What's interesting is that these incidents the heroines find themselves in actually re-emphasizes the personal issues they themselves are having, most of which are love-related. One more of a headache to Yuri than the others. It's a neat way of tying the two genres together, and I like how it gives each heroine their time to shine, compared to your typical character romance routes. That said, by doing this, it does give less dedicated time to those couples. Instead, Tayotama combines those cute, intimate scenes into the main narrative, so for those looking for that focused romance character route experience, might not enjoy the structure as much. And now, let's start off with the one who is the most familiar out of the girls, but turns out to be the most troubling one of the bunch, the childhood friend. Amari is Yuri's best pal, a ride-or-die girl that's just pretty energetic, always wanting to have fun. She's there as a dependable support, one that very much has a thing for her best friend, even if she won't easily admit it. And things would have been smooth sailing for her if it weren't for that flirting homewrecker. I will have to say that Amari's romance is a bit more rocky than the others. Readers who aren't fans of melodrama caused by constantly fumbling communication and misunderstandings aren't going to be having a good time here. But who knows, maybe you're into that type of messy conflict. It is, after all, a romance between 2 childhood friends, one overly stubborn, the other extremely dense. This is just par for the anime rom-com course. Like, seriously, it took an act of supernatural intervention for their own intervention. The gods got so fed up, they had to do it themselves. Once you get past that, though, you'll get that fun charm of watching that best friend turned lover's dynamic blossom. I will also note that Amari has a scene in her route that I found pretty uncomfortable. One out of the only 2 in general that I didn't particularly like. Kind of a turnoff and out of place, given how tame everything is normally. But again, that's my own personal opinion. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, we have Yumina, a timid girl with one caring heart. She may be adopted away from the family due to unfortunate circumstances, but that doesn't mean she doesn't care for Yuri like a dutiful little sister. I'm all for her efforts. If Yumina wants to be that supportive household caretaker, then she's perfectly in her right to do so. Tayutama has this recurring message of its characters struggling with what they want to do in the future, and then at the end, choosing to live the life they want to pursue. We have the backdrop of the different schools to help with that too. Slightly is seen as the common public school that Yuri and Amari go to, while Flawless is the prestigious upper-class girls-only academy that Yumina and Mifuyu attend. Yumina would be happy being by Yuri's side, but this also means throwing away the possible opportunities that Flawless would offer. What would you choose? To be with a lover, or to pursue career dreams and hobby goals? It's that important decision that also makes Tayotama a pretty nice coming-of-age story too. All of the girls in here have their own conclusion that fits them. Even Yuri himself has his own choice to make: become a priest like his wise yet dubious dad, or sniff motor oils his whole life. But for one particular individual, I can't say the same. They never had the freedom in the first place. Mifuyu Kisaragi is the prestigious lady residing at the Flawless Girls boarding department. As the heir to the Kisaragi conglomerate, she is a woman of strong character and principles, one that can wield a mean sword and fist too. But it's with those upstanding principles, a girl being strictly raised that way, that also leads her to be more flawed and innocent in other particular affairs. Let me just tell you, Mifuyu is my favorite character in here, although I do think a bit of my personal bias plays in here though. I'm always a sucker for romance stories involving relationships between royalty/upper class and commoners. Mix that in with a relationship that started out as enemies to understanding friends to eventually blossom into something more, and you have this feeling of let us enjoy our precious time now because we cannot be together forever, that I just very much enjoyed. It also helps that Mifuyu is one awesome character. Girl is super capable even when the world is against her. She's even willing to help out in the Tayutai affairs, using her status to help cover things up. After all, if the Tayutai ends up causing problems, it'll make the idea of coexistence between the Tayutai and humans much harder. Despite her initial suspicions against Yuri and Mashiro, she eventually learned to accept them and what they're trying to do, and that reflects upon her own relationship with Yuri, which just makes you think Yuri and Mashiro really are that dynamic duo. Mashiro is very passionate, both in her role as a devoted partner and trainer. Upon arrival, she immediately claimed Yuri as her husband and moved right into his house. Pretty intense, not just in love too, because if her husband isn't up to his full spirit-warding potential, she is going to beat it into him. That is the job of a goddess-turned-committed wife. The two have a very cute relationship, and while Yuri can accept Mashiro for who she is, the question is, how will the rest of the world see her and Tayutai? In fact, you could say that dealing with the rebellious Tayutai are trials, conflicts Yuri and Mashiro have to face, and through it, question whether Tayutai and humans can coexist among each other. From potential extraordinary disasters to interpersonal love problems to the worst possible circumstances, they'll have to overcome them together for the sake of their goals. That's just the power of their bonds, really. And you'll see that play out in the last arc of the story, becoming super emotional at the very end. Tayutama has that flair of anime romanticism, a collection of wacky rom-com shenanigans blended together with supernatural hijinks with a sprinkle of fight scenes here or there, all building up to deliver a wholesome, passionate tale between two destined lovers. I would recommend this to anyone looking for a nice romance visual novel to read. Again, many thanks to Quinium for providing me a review copy and for sponsoring this video. Now, if you're interested in another emotionally moving visual novel, you might want to check out this video over here, or this one for a general recommendation. And lastly, there really should have been a fifth route. I don't know why these girls are trying so hard. Yuri already has a girlfriend, he's dating his motorcycle.